Waiting for it to turn red so I know it's recording. There we go. All right. So hopefully everybody can see my screen. This is 6B, number 15 in the book. So if you go to the book, number 6B, number 15 in the book, it will look like this question. It will not be the same question, but it will look like it. It's also number 9 in your homework. And let's see what it looks like. Let's see. Well, I can go ahead and tell you right now, this is going to be a 15-part question, which is ridiculous. I think Ms. Holder sent this question. I do not condone these questions where you have 15 parts. It's ridiculous. But what I will do for you, I will do these on the spreadsheet, and I will just do the mathematics, and I'm not going to answer all these questions. Is that fair? Because I guarantee you I'm going to answer all the questions without having to go through each one of these questions. But anyway, let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this in Excel. Now you can do it in your calculator, but I'm going to put it in Excel, and I'm going to set it up as 2 separate problems. Okay? And the reason I'm doing it in Excel is so I can put everything on one page. So I'm going to take these guys. I'm going to hit Control X. And I'm going to put them down here. All right, so, you can go ahead and copy those down. I'll make them a little bit bigger for you. Can everybody see my spreadsheet?
Yes.
Thank you, one person. I appreciate it. It's always nice to have an interactive class. Makes the class go by a whole lot faster. There you go. Let me delete one more. And one more. There you go. All right. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to put, while y'all are writing everything down, punching in your calculator, median, mode, range, mid-range, variance, and standard deviation. And then at the end, I'll show you how to compare all these things, and you don't have to go through 15 questions. And the 5-number summary, I'll put it right here. 5-number summary. And that's going to consist of the mean, the first quartile, the second quartile, third quartile, the max, and we also use the mid-range for the number line. So I'll put that right there. Okay. And of course, we'll just take this and copy, Control C, and we'll put it down here. All right, everybody with me? Now, again, I'm not doing this in Excel because I want y'all to excel in Excel. I want to make sure everybody can see, everything on one page. Because I can't do, there's no way on a piece of paper I would be able to do all the math and for all of this on one of these pages. There's no way. I write too big. All right, so here we go. First of all, we need to put everything in order. We need to put these groups in order. And Excel will do that. I just got to hit Data, Sort, and it's going to come up and it's going to say expand or just do these. And you want to expand So it will put these letters in order. Okay, by the quantity. Same thing down here. And expand. All right, now in your calculator, you don't have the A, B, C, and D, so all you got to do is put these in order and put these in order. Capiche? Yeah, Hubert, we understand. Good. I'll go ahead and mark those as yellow. Mark those as yellow because that's going to be our median. Equals parentheses, add that number plus that number divided by 2. And I do realize that I can copy and paste formulas. I mean, I got a degree, I got most of my teeth, and I have running water in my house. So I do know that I can copy formulas. But I'm not going to do it here because I think the more you see the formulas being written, the better off you are. Add those two together, divide by 2. Everybody with me? And of course, your second percentile, or your second quartile, which is your 50th percentile, is also your median. So just doing the median, you get several things done with just the median. All right, let's do the mean. And that's going to be equal to all these added up, divided by 6. Oops. All these added up, divided by 6. All these added up, divided by 6. I don't really care about the mode, and you got decimals. Chances are, the more decimals you have, the less likely you're going to see a mode. So I don't really care about it, so I'm just going to put non-applicable because I don't really care about that, and you can look for it on your own. I don't really care about the mode. I don't think you're going to see one with decimals. Range is equal to the highest minus the lowest. This is a good review for the test because I'm going through everything. Equals the highest minus the lowest. Mid-range is equal to the highest plus the lowest divided by 2. And just to save a little bit of time, Control C, Control V. I'm checking in my head to make sure 287, that'd be 305 or 315? Yeah, that'd be about right. Somebody check that mid-range, make sure it's right. 158. Variance, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do 104.2 minus that number, function F4, or alternate F4 on my laptop. For those Excel people, that's lock. And equals this number minus this number, alternate function F4, I'm sorry. And copy that down. And then of course you're going to square that number, raised to the second power. Copy that down, get a summation. Equals this number raised to the second power. Now you could do all of this on your calculator, okay? You don't have to do by hand. I'm doing it by hand just for those people that need it, okay? And there may be one person in here, there may be 5 people in here that need it. I'm just doing it to help you all out. And then, of course, your variance is equal to this number divided by 5. And your variance here is this number divided by 5. And then the spread, which is your standard deviation, is equal to this number raised to the 0.5 power and equals this number raised to the 0.5 power. Somebody tell me what the difference in the spread is. Which one's got a lesser spread or a lesser standard deviation? The second group. So this group may be a little bit tighter than this group as far as quantity. So since this spread is lower than this spread, may be an indicator. I also want to look at this number, and this number. And of course, I probably want to put those in a grid. Try to give you a little bit of this number's green, this number's green, and this number's green. And put those in a grid. 158, 131, 209, 115, 95. Well, that's the difference of what, 20? I don't know, maybe 20. This is a difference of what, 28, 26, 27, something like that. 27, 20, 158, that's 40. 209, that's 40 also. So you really can't tell much by the numbers, but it looks like this one is a little bit closer with the numbers, where this one has a little bit better spread. So we'll have to look at those numbers here in a second. All right, 5-number summary. Min, max. Now, if you miss the min and the max and the mid-range on the 5-number summary, what are you not supposed? You're not supposed to tell anybody, right? Oh, that's not the mid-range, Hubert. Or delete. Sorry about that. I grabbed the wrong one. There we go. Equals that number right there. And max is that number right there. Mid-range is equal to this number. Mid-range is equal to that number. Okay, now, how do we find the first quartile? Well, you take your handy-dandy pencil point and you put it right here between those two numbers, because that's where that's where the median is. The median is right here. How many numbers are above the median? Somebody tell me.
3.
And is 3 odd or even?
Odd.
So you just pick the middle number, and there is your middle number. So I'm going to color that blue, and that's going to be blue, and it's equal to that number. Same thing with the bottom. 3 numbers on the bottom. That right there is your third quartile. So we've done everything we need to do here. So now let's go down here and do the same thing. That one's blue. What would y'all do without my color coordination? I really think y'all would be lost if it wasn't for my colors. Yeah, Hubert, they're nice. Thank you, class. I appreciate the interaction. Do y'all like drink coffee or Mountain Dew in the morning? It might help. I don't know how y'all gonna start a revolution when y'all can't even start a conversation. All right.
I forgot to get my
Was that, Mr. Brown, was that a laugh?
It was, sir.
You're not supposed to laugh, Mr. Brown. You're supposed to be winged on a pickle. These other students are going to get mad at you for laughing. All right.
Really?
Yeah, because they don't want anybody to talk.
All right. Every time that I have to laugh, I'll just mute my mic.
You're not supposed to have a sense of humor. Sense of humor is bad. All right. So here is all your information. Now, what do you think you're going to do with it? Well, I'm going to get my handy dandy curve that some of you still refuse to copy, and you still think you want to draw each one. Uh-oh, somebody chatted something. Anything interesting? My laptop is messing up. Okay, Miss Gill, are you in here? I don't see her. There she is. Is it still messing up, Miss Gill?
Okay, I think it's okay, but I've been having problems with my laptop all week. Like, I've been trying to speak, it'll mute and then unmute and then go back to mute, and then my voice never comes through, but
Well,
it's
it's
just
coming
on and
through
off.
clear as a bell right now.
Yeah, I guess it wanted to do it for you, so.
Yeah. Or you have an Apple? You have an Apple or Mac or what?
No, I have a Dell, but it's like
Okay.
4 years old. So.
Well, I have a Dell, a HP, and another Dell, and I love all three of them. So I'm not going to say anything bad about any of them. This one that I'm using right now, the school just gave it to me. It's a brand new one, so it seems to be doing okay. I haven't had any problems out of it, and it's a Dell, so I think it's good. So anyway, let me know if you run into any more trouble. All right, so I'm going to make this small, and then I'll make it big again. I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to show you what all this is for, okay? And I'm going to put 131.35, I'm sorry, 158 in the middle. Now you need to carry your decimals, okay? You need to do the decimals. I'm not going to do the decimals. So I'm going to put 158 in the middle. That is our mean. And then I'm going to use my standard deviation of 7. Well, just forget it. I'm going to have to do it on here because that's just too many decimals to ignore. So I'm going to put my mean in the middle. And then to the right, what do you do to the standard deviation? Add or subtract? You add, Hubert.
Add.
Thank you. And alternate function F4, and copy 3 places to the right. So that'll be 235.38, 235.38, and then 313.09. It would help not to have a magic marker on this one. 390.79. And then on the left, we're going to subtract this minus the standard deviation, function F4, and copy 3 to the left. Okay, 79.96. 2.25. And negative 75.46. And I might as well go ahead and draw. Well, I'm going to write my numbers down for the 5-number summary. Min is 104. First is 123 or 124. Second is 131. Third is 141. And max is 314. And mid-range is 209. All right, so we're going to go back to, and of course, if they ask any questions, I'll take my handy dandy highlighter and 95% is going to fall within 2 standard deviations, which in this case will be between 2.25 and 313.09. And yes, I do this in the other classes. I draw these and then I draw the colors. I do this in I got 4 probability classes, 103 and 3 120s, and I do this for every single one of them. But we've got people that the first year at Tri-County Tech, they don't need to draw this. They're beyond that. Okay, so I just put the empirical rule into play. So if they ask me a question like, what about 236? 236 is normal. What about 315? 315 is unusual. What about 0? 0 is unusual. What about negative 72? 72 is negative 72 is an outlier. What about 400? 400 is an outlier. So those are all the questions that could be asked from just that information. All right, now I'm going to do the 5-number summary and box plot. The min goes here. The max goes here. And the mid-range is the middle. Now you just graduate your number line. Graduate the number line and you get, let's see, 104 to 209. Well, that's 100 and what, 5? Somebody check my math there. Half of 105 is what, 52? So add 52, that's going to be 156. Add 52 here, that's going to be what? 261. Somebody check my math. And half of this, well, 104 to, I don't forgot what I said, 52. Half of 52 is what? 25. 25, that'd be what? 129, 130. 29 here would be what? 185. Y'all, I'm just guesstimating. 105 to 130 is 20, 26, 25. So this would be what? 234. And 25 be 180, 286. Okay, now let me get 3 colors. I'm going to do a green, a pink, and an orange. Easter colors. There's my green. There's my orange. And there's my pink. And the pink is 141. So 141 is going to be where? Right in here. And 131, oh Lord, we got some extreme numbers here. 124 be down in here. The mid-range is the center. So can somebody tell me a little bit about this data? It's extremely what? Skewed what?
Right.
Skewed right. And you do the same thing with the other, and I'll do it right quick. I'm not going to go through everything, but we're going to go through it right quick. I'm not going to color this one. Save a little bit of time. Let's go to our handy dandy Excel spreadsheet. And I'm going to try to do this. I don't know if it'll do it or not. Control C. And I got to make sure, drop 1. I'm thinking, just give me a second. I don't know if that's correct, but let's see, 115, 115. And somebody add those numbers to see if I'm halfway decent. I'm not going to use the decimals because I've got this big magic marker. I'm going to do just whole numbers. 116, 194, 271, and 349. And 38, is somebody checking my numbers, make sure they're right? Negative 40 and negative 117. Okay, so there's your empirical rule. I'll show it to you in just a second. Okay, your first is 88, 92, 95, 97. Good gracious. That's real close. And 229. That's close enough for government work. And 158 is the mid-range. So I draw my, I'm going to go here. So I'm going to draw my, so we got 88, 158, and 229. Well, 88 to 158 is 70. Half of 70 is 35. And I have no idea what 35, because I can't add 8's worth of crap. So somebody do 88 plus 35 for me. And 158 plus 35 for me, please. What's 88 plus 35?
123.
123.
That's what I was going to say. But and what's 158 plus 35?
193.
193. Okay. And half 17. What's 88 plus 17? 105. Help me out. What's 88 plus 17?
105.
Okay. What's 123 plus 17 would be 140.
Yes.
158 plus 17 would be 175.
Yes.
And 193 plus 17 is 210.
Correct.
There's your graduations. Let's get our Easter eggs out. And this is green. This is pink. And this is orange. And orange, 97. Good gracious. 97. There's 90 right here. So 97 is going to be right here. 95 is pink. And 92 is green. I think we found out which one is more skewed right. There's your box plot. And of course, our center. And you can see that if you compared the two, you see that the second batch is more skewed than the first batch. Ms. Holder, what kind of questions does it ask beside the numbers? What kind of questions did it ask, or can you remember the questions?
Let me pull it up real quick.
I'm sorry, you're going to have to speak up.
Let me pull it up real quick.
Okay, well, I got it. I mean, I didn't know if you remembered. Hold on.
No, the one I had a
Yeah.
question on, you answered.
I'm sorry, speak
The
up.
one I had a question on, you answered. It was just
Okay.
writing at the 5 normal.
Okay. Yeah. And I can tell you, this is just the first part, y'all. This problem has like A through Z. I mean, it has like 15 parts. So I think I've covered everything. and I want to skedaddle because I only got 15 minutes left, and I want y'all to see the test because I like to give tests on the weekends. That way you have more time to concentrate on it. So I want to go ahead and show y'all the test, or a test, not the test, but a test. Golly, Tri-County logged me out. What a surprise. So when you go to assignments now, and this is for all you hammies, look what's there. All you hammies, y'all can finally get a due date. And there is the test. Now, notice what My Lab's math tells you. It tells you the what? It tells you the due date. It tells you which test it is. It tells you how many minutes you have. Look at there. I give you 90 minutes to take a 50-minute test. Excuse me. I give you 90 minutes to take a 50-minute test. Can anybody tell me why I do that?
Because you don't want any excuses.
I don't want any excuses. How'd you know that, Miss Stewart? You had me before, hadn't you?
Yeah.
No excuses. And there are some people that need extra time. Well, Hubert, how did you come up on that time? Well, each question in My Lab's math, since they can tally and since they can keep up with the statistics, each question that I put on the test has a little time on it. And that's an average time that it takes hundreds and hundreds of students to do that problem. And it is very accurate because you think about it. If 100 students does problem A and the average is 2.6 minutes or 2.5 minutes or whatever, out of 100 students, and that's just because my lab's math is used across the whole country. So it's more than 100, probably into the thousands. All right. That's very accurate. So I make my test around 50 minutes as far as the questions. So if I make my test the minute wise, the average minutes on the test to each question total 50 minutes, and I give you 90 minutes to take the test, I'm giving you an additional 40 minutes. Anybody gonna complain about that? And you have 3 chances. Now, there are people out there with documentation, and let me go ahead and address this. If you take all 3, you got 3 chances. If you take all 3 and you have documentation and you still have not taken advantage, in other words, the 90 minutes and the 3 attempts did not give you, or you did not reach the grade you want, then you need to email me and I will extend the time a little bit more if you have documentation, and those people have sent me documentation, but I will not give you extra time until you've at least taken advantage of the 90 minutes and the 3 attempts. Everybody understand that? Because I have found that if you give people 90 minutes on a test and you give them 3 chances, pretty much everybody gets the grade they want. Of course, I get 50s and 25s and 36s. I don't understand that, but I do. But anyway, let's click on it. And it tells you again. I'm sorry, what?
Do you take the highest score of the 3 attempts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, you're going to see that. That's a bonus question. You're going to see that in just a minute. All right. It tells you again which test it is. Tells you how many questions. About 10 of those questions, are you listening? About 10 of these questions are bonuses that come from DA questions that students ask at the end of the semester, or handouts / emails that I've sent at the beginning of the semester. It tells you the due date again for you hammy people. Now, what if you write me an email tomorrow that says, Hubert, when is the test due? Will you get a reply from me? Hell to the no.
Nope.
And it tells you how many attempts you have. And you have 90 minutes. Now, I'm not going to start the test. I'm going to go into preview so I don't have to worry about moving around. Okay, so I'm going to hit preview, and I'm just going to show you a couple of things. I know I've only got 10 minutes, and some of y'all are going to explode, but you'll be all right. Preview. This is the teacher's side, so some of this stuff you're not going to see. Okay? All right, here's a question, and it says pretty much, straightforward. A normal distribution of heights of adult women from a certain region has a mean of 66.9. Okay, this right here means draw a picture, but you don't necessarily have to on this one because it's, what is standard score another word for?
Z-score.
Z-score. So mark through that standard score in your head and put Z-score. So you're going to use X minus X bar over standard deviation. And that's what they want you to do, 4 Z-scores right there. So that's quick calculations, one formula, X minus X bar over the standard deviation. Okay? And then you do an area. They want an area, okay? Right here, what does this say? Percentiles. Percentile is another word for area. So you would type in, if this comes out to be 2.5, you would type in normal CDF 2.5 to 9999, as we talked about in the last class. Okay, so this is the Z-score, and this is the area. Normal CDF. This is a calculator question. If you have a newer calculator, you can type in 66.9 as the mean, and 2 as the standard deviation, and 65.9 is X, and it will spit out the Z-score. Then you go to normal CDF, and you go, it says, they just want the percentiles. So you go from negative 9999 to that Z-score in normal CDF, and that's what you do on each of those. Negative 9999 to that Z-score, negative 9999 to that Z-score. And probably this is the most complicated question on here, anything, with the Z-score. Okay, here's a bonus question. What should a student do if something happens and then they're out of class for a while? Excuse me. This was the student that said 2 weeks after the grade turning in, they got a C instead of an A because they missed the Unit 3 test, and the computer put a 0 in for it. And I went back and I told the student, well, you missed the Unit 3 test. Oh, I had to go on a cruise. I said, well, you didn't tell me about it. Oh, well, I had to go on a cruise and I missed that test. I said, tough. And of course, here comes helicopter parent going to the department head. Department head said she missed the test and didn't tell the teacher. We are a product of our own decisions and our own choices. Communication. Now, let me tell you something else. I want everybody to write this down and everybody to make a mental note. If your cursor clicks out, like on one of these right here, what will it do to the test?
It'll close it.
It'll shut it down. I want everybody to understand that. If you click on the outside of this test, which is usually this bottom, or if you have it on the side, and you go to another application like the homework, it's going to shut this test down, and it's going to put a message on it that says student left the test. And then you're going to call me and you're going to ask me and you're going to lie to me, which don't lie because I already know that you left the test because the message they sent you. I get the computer did this and the computer did that, and no, you left the test. So that's it. You left the test. So don't leave the test. All right. You got your calculator. Use the calculator. You got your notes. Use your notes. Don't abuse a good privilege, okay? Don't abuse it. After the third time, the first time, I'm going to chalk it up as, okay, well, they tried it and they found out. The second time, I dock points. The third time, you don't take the test. After the third time, I'm not going to reset it. Okay, next. If a student does not complete homework assignment, what grade do they get? This is for student. This is for a student that tried to say at the end of the semester they did not know that they got a 0 for a missing assignment. Yeah, I didn't believe them either. If you look at your overall grade one day and it has decreased, oh, I didn't know a 0 would decrease my grade. Okay, this is one of the most missed bonus questions. Can anybody tell me why 30, 30, 30 is not an answer?
Doesn't equal 100.
Doesn't equal 100, but some DAs, they pick it. Okay, here's a correlation. And they want you to see what kind of correlation it is. I put that one on there to give y'all some points. That's a gimme question. Score, blah, blah, blah. Quantitative section on exam, standard deviation. Graduate school requires an applicant. This is a Z-score. This is just like SHAC versus LBJ. You got two sets of scores, and they want you to find the percentiles of both and find out which one will reach the 90th percentile. Excuse me. Decide whether the following statement makes sense. The heights of male basketball players at a local college are normally distributed with a mean of 6 feet 3 inches and a standard deviation of 3 inches. Does that make sense? Yeah. Now, what would not make sense? Well, if it said 6 foot 3 inches and a standard deviation of 2 foot, that would not make sense. The heights of male basketball players is skewed left, meaning that most of them are short. Or, well, you could have skewed right, or I'm sorry, skewed left, which would mean all of them are tall. You could have that on a basketball team. But this makes sense. It should make sense. We'll check it to make sure. Yeah. Okay, so if it said something outlandish, you'd probably be able to pick it up. Okay. That's another gimme. If you have incomplete assignments and Hubert puts a 0 in for the grade, what will that do to your grade? Decrease it. Oh, I didn't know. Overall grade, really, I need to take that bonus question off because it doesn't ask that anymore, but overall grade. I'm trying to hurry. Assume that a set of test scores is normally distributed. Okay, this looks like empirical rule. I have never seen a book call it the 68, 95, 95. I've never seen a book call it that till I started this 103 class or started teaching this 103 class. It's called the empirical rule. I've never heard anybody call it this before. So this is where you're going to use your handy dandy curve that 2 or 3 of y'all have copied off. And there's 2 or 3 of these on the test. When does the homework terminate? Toward the end of the material. If you miss a question on a test and you want to challenge it, what should you do? Well, this is what y'all do. This is what students do. Send several emails to Hubert with the last one saying hello. After today, after I'm telling you to ask me to see me after class, I'm not going to reply to an email that you're sending me or a text or a Teams message. The only thing I will respond to is, can I see you after class about a question on the test? That's the only thing I'll respond to. And I'll say, sure, remind me before class ends. Okay? Use the frequency table for the ages of blah, 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 and which graph meets up with it. So you click on the table here, and it looks like it starts off low. Looks like it's a little bit skewed right, a little bit, because most of your data, here's the center right here. Data is on the left. So where do you see data on the left? Looks like maybe this one or this one. And you're looking for that dip right there. See if there's a dip in the middle. Let's go back to the table. There's not a dip. It gradually goes down. So that means it is Bravo. Oh, that's too easy. I need to take some of these easy questions off. What do y'all think? Does Hubert replace your lowest grade with your final exam grade? What do y'all think?
No.
No. I give you 3 attempts and 90 minutes on each test, and I give you 10 to 12 bonus questions on each test. If you can't make your desired grade doing that, extra credit's not going to help you. Use the table to find the standard deviation and percentile of the following data. 2.2 standard deviations. And they're wanting to know the 2.2, that's the same, that's standard deviations. That's the z-score, it's the same thing. So you would put 2.2 here, you would put 1.2 here, and you would put 1 there. So don't let that trick you, okay? Standard deviations is the same as z-score when you have a mean of 0 and a standard deviation of 1. That is the same thing. And then you just do your calculator, normal CDF, and the percentile go from -9999 to 2.2, -9999 to 1.2, and -9999 to 1. And that's your, and it doesn't say round, does it? So I guess you'd put 2 digits, percentile, 25th, 75th, 85th, whatever the answers is, just put 85, 25, whatever. Next, I'm trying to show you all the bonus questions so that way you won't miss them. The only one with United States in front of it, please. Don't put the Army, please. I'm trying to get to a bonus question that Miss Ballou asked. That's just random sampling. I talked about that. I'm not going to worry about this. You can get that. I'm trying to hurry. Okay, this is it, Miss Ballou. If you take several forms of a unit test attempts, how is it counted? I take the highest grade. So there's your bonus question right there, Miss Ballou. He takes the highest grade and I drop the lowest. So if you make a 98 on the first attempt and you don't take the second and the third, that's 98, 0, and 0, and it takes the 98. Okay, so you don't have to email me and say, I made a 98. Do I need to take it a second or a third time? I'm not going to answer that. And this is, what is z-score? It's x minus the mean over the standard deviation. And the standard score is the same as the standard deviation. I'm trying to hurry. I know some of y'all are, okay, there is this, and they're asking you, the distribution has, technically it has 2 peaks. It has one right here and one right here, and it tells you to describe it. There's the center. It looks like a little bit, it could say, you could say it's a little bit skewed left because a lot of the data is over here, and it's going to ask you about that. It is not symmetrical. And you might, it looks like you got moderate to large variation because you go down, up, down, up, down. So you got moderate to large variation. Small variation would be like a straight shot across, like time, like uniform distribution. Next, a score on a psychology. Okay, they want to know what the what is the z-score for 71, and they just want a Z-score. Hubert's email address and phone number. And I actually have students miss this. I'd like for somebody to tell me how you miss it, but another standard deviation. I do not give extra points at the end of the semester because of all the bonus points I give you during the semester. And quantitative or qualitative. Salaries, that's quantitative. And a frequency distribution with relative frequency and cumulative, and we went over that. Okay, anybody got any questions about the test or the homework? All right, good luck, good weekend. I do give you Monday to send me any homework questions that you have, and that'll be the last day that we cover homework questions. We're going into Unit 2, which is probability. Y'all have a good weekend.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
All right, see y'all.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
I'll try.